Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collinwood. I'm here to do a character retrospective, and the two character retrospectives I'm going to do are none other than Jason McGuire and Willie Loomis. Now, I find a lot of interesting things about these characters. Number one, the fact that if you ever watched the movie The Sting was about con men, and that's what I would say Jason McGuire definitely is. Jason McGuire is a con man. So, him and Willie Loomis's motto was share and share alike. And I find that curious because Willie Loomis is more of a thief than a con man. I don't think Willie could con anybody out of anything. But in the same sense, I feel Jason McGuire wanted him to learn how to do long cons, how to do con artistry. So, and I think he was really wanting to teach Willie Loomis patience, that maybe Willie hadn't had the patience to do long cons, and maybe that's why some of Jason McGuire's cons had blown up in his face because of Willie. I don't think it was just Jason himself who was failing at cons. I think Willie had cost him some, and maybe I think Collinsport really, while yes he was still wanting to teach Willie, was the straw that broke the camel's back to say that. And no, I'm not sitting here gonna say I feel sorry for Jason McGuire. I don't at all as a character. But in the same sense, I really think he was wanting to teach Willie Loomis, how to be a true con artist. I think, you want to look at differences between Paul Stoddard and Jason McGuire. I'll give you the biggest couple here. Jason McGuire is more willing to work with somebody, where Paul Stoddard is more willing to get his money and cut and run and cut the person out of the loop. Where Jason is more willing to share than what Paul Stoddard is. That Jason would be more likely to take someone under his wing, and really Willie Loomis is that proof. Willie Loomis being attached to Jason McGuire, in a sense, is that proof that McGuire was willing to show somebody the ropes of, okay, this is how you do it. But I think the things that happened in Collinsport, once they got there, Jason kept preaching one thing. Look, I've told you, patience, patience. You got to be patient. And I think Jason was sort of mixed. He was sort of torn between, man, I think Jason, he really liked Willie. He cared for him in a sense. But in a sense, too, when Collinsport happened, when they went to Collinsport, when Jason went to con Elizabeth Stoddard, Colin Stoddard, Jason was really wanting to do a long con and get the money and get what he felt he earned. Maybe he was biting off a lot more than he could chew, sure. But I think he was really wanting to, look, make no mistake, yeah, he was wanting the money, just like I said, but he was wanting Willie to learn patience within this con. And again, this is a plan that blew up in Jason's face because of a lot of aspects. Was it solely because of Willie? No, but it was partially because of Willie. Because Willie, again, this is what happens when you take two different personalities, in a sense, and you're mixing the two personalities. Here's Jason. He's cool. He's laid back. He's relaxed. He can do a long con. But in the same sense, which Jason's downfall is his willingness to work with somebody, in a sense. And you might say, how? It's because you met somebody who wasn't really patient with what you were wanting to do. And McGuire, again, I think, look, by the time these two get to Collinsport, they had worked together. But I think them working together and Jason not seeing Willie progress is what frustrated Jason McGuire the most. Because Collinsport, when Willie comes to Collinsport, he keeps pushing Jason about coming up to the big house. When Jason gets his foot in the door, Jason gets his foot in the door rather easily, rather smoothly. Him and Liz come to an agreement. But you see how Jason is. He's not wanting to push it. He's wanting to ease into it. just like any long con man would. Again, go watch The Sting. Go watch the movie The Sting with Robert Redford, or Paul Newman and Robert Redford. That that's what Jason was wanting to do. Long cons with patience, with big rewards. But you had factors involved because, again, where I get into Willie Loomis is Willie does not have the patience for that, nor was Willie wanting to learn that patience. And that's where I think Jason McGuire and Willie Loomis really differ themselves. That Jason McGuire, he gets, like I said, he gets his foot in the door, and Willie's like, come on, let me get up in there, let me get up in there. You gotta wait, you gotta wait. Remember what I told you before, patience. Again, I think Willie, this is not the first time Willie's done this, and this time I think Jason saw the writing on the wall that Jason, you know what, this kid will not learn. And but what Jason nor Willie realized was, even though Willie, Jason helped cover up a dark secret of Liz. You know, he conned Liz into thinking Paul Stoddard was dead. What Jason did not realize was the Collinses do have dark secrets, even ones they didn't know about. And that's where sort of Willie Loomis comes into play. When Willie gets it into the big house, he's sort of flirting with Carolyn and Victoria. He's sort of harassing them to a degree, and he almost gets shot for his trouble. Carolyn grabbing Roger's gun and pointing, "I'll blow your head off," and okay, you know, he backs off. And then the knife fight, the fight in the bar with Burt Devlin was, you know, I think really McGuire had to, come on, you can't be doing this. This makes me look bad as much as it does you, because I'm vouching for you, and I can't keep as much as I have on Liz. I think Jason, you know, he kept vouching for him, but I think in McGuire's mind it was like, man, this kid's really pushing it this time, and I don't know how much more I could stick my neck out for him. And I think you saw that on Dennis Patrick a lot, that he really played that character very well. Dennis Patrick does not get enough credit, along with, you know, James Hall and oh god, I'm gonna kick myself. The guy that ended up replacing him, John Carlin. John Carlin did a great job as Willie Loomis, but I think Sean Hall, or whatever, Hall doesn't get enough credit for. I think I said his first name wrong, but Hall does not get enough credit for doing Willie Loomis well. And, you know, it sort of set up Carlin's character, but what Carlin ended up doing very well after the fight. You know, the fight is when Carlin took over, the fight sequence, that whole sequence with Burt Devlin, and I enjoyed that very well. You know, you knew Willie had deserved it. And James Hall, I should say, I think, played that very, very well. And leading up to that, you knew he deserved that in a lot of ways. Excuse me. And what you have here is, you know, McGuire sort of reads in the riot act on him, you know, for fighting in a bar, not keeping really out of trouble, more getting into it. And that's what causes Liz to say, after Carolyn and them, look, we feel scared, they want him gone. And after the whole gun incident, that was enough for Liz. And then I think you really saw Jason's willingness to continue the con, more so than he was still wanting to partner with Willie, but he was wanting, now he had to get Willie back out of that house. And that was sort of Liz's, okay, you want to be here, that's fine, but not him. Even though she didn't want him there either, she didn't want Jason there, but she definitely did not want Willie Loomis there after the events of Carolyn. That Carolyn pulling that gun. Um, so the deal is, if he has no money, if Liz gets him the money, Liz reluctantly gets $500 from her banker. Remember, she's rich, and she hands it to Jason. Okay, get him out of here. And I gotta admit, Jason is more than willing to get him. I don't think it really. If Jason could have just given him money himself and got him out of there, I think Jason would have. I think that's where you really see the frustration of Jason McGuire, because Jason realizes Willie's acting way more weird than usual. Willie keeps looking at the portrait of Barnabas Collins, who has looked into the family history about the family jewels being buried with the ones, the family being buried with their jewels. And so, and Jason's starting to realize, wait, he's willing to go when he wasn't willing to go at first. And even Jason's starting to question Willie's motives. Okay, what do you got going for yourself? What's up here? It's share and share alike, but you're keeping shit from me. And I think Jason wanted to keep what he knew about Liz to himself, because, again, not that he didn't trust Willie, he didn't trust Willie's patience. And I think you can see that difference in those episodes. And again, it does boil down to patience with the two characters, that Willie, like I said, he didn't learn patience. He didn't want to learn patience, and Jason was wanting to teach it to him. But I think, again, Colin's sport became the straw that broke the camel's back, and Liz gives Jason the money, and then all of a sudden Willie vanishes, and Jason, is looking around for him, and it's like, the dude, he knows Willie did not have money to leave Collinsport. It wasn't that simple. So it's, where did he go? What the hell? He knew Willie was up to something, but he didn't know what. And here's where I'll get into Willie Loomis. Willie Loomis did not come there with the intention of, releasing Barnabas Collins. He didn't go into that cemetery to release Barnabas Collins. He had read about the Naomi Collins legend, that she had gotten jewels from a pirate, that the Collins family, some of them were buried with their jewels. So he goes to the mausoleum with crowbars, with rope, and, he ties a rope to the lion's ring, with, the ring in the lion's mouth, and he ties the rope to the hook on the coffin, the round thing on the coffin. And he's not doing that to open he doesn't know about the secret passage. He's not doing it to open the secret passage. He's doing that so the force of the lion's mouth will open up the coffin lid. He's wanting to open the coffin of Naomi Collins. And he's shocked. He opens the secret door by accident completely. So him discovering the secret room was pure dumb luck and bad luck in a way. That chain coffin being in there, Willie saw it and was like, oh my God, money could be in there. And that was his only thought process, was, okay, that's an easier way for me to get money than try to open this coffin that won't open. And so he takes the hammer and crowbar and he starts prying away at them chains. And when he opens it, while yes, he does see money, he finds out that there's a undead vampire in there, and enter Jonathan Frid, because he grabs him by the throat and he's terrified of what he's now seen. And I think right there, the downfall of Jason McGuire is in a sense Jason McGuire's fault, of trying to do a long con and not having an end game to it. But also the downfall is Willie Loomis's lack of patience. And that's my character retrospective, really. That, yes, these two characters, while their motto was share and share alike, the proven motto amongst the thief is there's no honor amongst thieves. And really that became their downfall as well, because Jason McGuire had completely stopped trusting Willie Loomis. Now, do I blame him? No, I don't. That's a lot of Willie's fault too. And from a character retrospective to end this video, what do I give to these two characters? A straight 10. I love Dennis Patrick's performance. I love James Hall's performance. I love John Carlin's performance. Remember, James Hall played Willie Loomis originally, and John Carlin ended up playing him in the bar sequence with the fight with Burke Devlin, Mitchell Ryan. So I love the characters. I really think they did a real service to the show. And so that's my character retrospective of Jason McGuire and Willie Loomis. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and thank you so much. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.